Hello, and welcome to my New Moon in Cancer tarot card reading. I am sitting here after just creating my Gaia's Love podcast, where I talked a lot about the new moon in Cancer energy and possibilities. So if you are looking for a chat, that would be a great place to go. And if you are looking for some energy reading from the cards, this is a great place to be. So we're just going to dive right in. Last month, if you watched the video, I'm going to look at my notes. We had a new moon in Gemini. Our collective now was totality. If you remember the people being suspended from the gymnastics in the air and like, where are we? What's our reality? The individual now was about innocence, being able to like be in the wonder, the childlike wonder of this new moment. With all the wisdom that we've gained along the way in our journey. And the highest possibility was creativity. We have gotten that creativity card so many times, and I feel like that message just keeps coming up, like create, create, create. Wisdom from our guides, go within. I think we might get that again. Eight of Cups and Upper World. So there was some really beautiful, fun play in last month's Gemini reading. So let's see what we're going to get for Cancer. There's a lot of, this is what I said in the podcast, there's a lot of tenderness associated with Cancer energy from what I have discovered for myself. And when we talk about topics like home and family and these deep, intimate relationships we have with those that we spend the most time with, a lot of stuff can come up, a lot of emotions. And so my overall message in Gaia's Love was to be kind to yourself and be curious. And so we're going to bring that intention here into this space also. I'm going to pull some cards. When I'm done reflecting about them, I'm going to make a new moon meditation, which I will put the link to that in the description. And usually, always for me and for others, what happens with the meditation is it takes the threads, the ideas, the wisdom from the cards that was presented to you in this energetic exchange. And the meditation, the way I guide it, kind of weaves all of that together and then brings you into this place within yourself where your soul can really offer you some inspiration for the month ahead. So my guided meditations are I think really cool, especially the new moon ones, because I put them to music. And it's just a really peaceful and gentle way to integrate the energy of the new moon. So I invite you to try that. If you haven't before, the exchange is $11. It's the best $11 you'll spend on a new moon energy. And they're just fun. They're really fun. And then what am I doing after that? Yeah, and then I'm off to do some more work for the day, but this is like my playtime. Let's just see what energy comes up. Okay, so we are going to use, if you're new to these readings, the Osho Zen Tarot deck. We're going to pull 3 cards, the collective now, the individual now, and the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. So I think we're just going to take the top 3 cards. Sorry, like to be super transparent in my shuffling. And I also have East Forest playing the Spores album in the background, and my crystals on my lap. So we've got just a really peaceful, happy vibe here today. All right, the collective now. That's so good. I pulled the understanding card from a different deck last night too. Understanding. This is the collective now. Oh my God, I can't wait to dive into this with you. This is good. This is a very good sign. Individual now. Friendliness. I love this card. I think I've talked about it before, but I can't wait to see what we say about that. And then the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, guidance. You guys, it's like the podcast is just flowing right into this magic. It all ties together. Because I talked about my guides in the podcast. It was amazing. Isn't it always amazing when we talk about our guides and the guidance they gave me, which, I got some work to do. All right, let's take a look at what we are receiving as wisdom. All right, the collective now. So notice what you notice first. What jumps out at you as you look at this card? What colors are most present to you? What feelings do you have in your body as you look at this? Like, what do you notice? And then I'll share what I see and what this card means to me. So the first thing I would say is I pulled this card last night. I had a big awareness about a friendship, and I just wanted to clarify if I was receiving the information correctly. And so I pulled a card just really fast. I'm like, okay, card number 8. And I pulled it, and the card was called Understanding. And it was literally a message of, don't, and this is exactly what my daughter had just said to me earlier too, don't assume it has anything to do with you. Like, there are multiple experiences and stories and patterns that are playing out in everybody's lives. And just because, in co-creation, we kind of bump up against each other and have shared experiences. Just because you have a shared experience doesn't mean what you're believing to be true is true. It could just be that's your interpretation of it. And over here, this person has 50 other things going on that have nothing to do with you, that are informing the energy they bring to this kind of bump. And so if you want to make it a big fight, you could have missed all of this that was happening. And so I bring that perspective into this understanding card for those of us who are kind of getting our feathers ruffled a little bit around the new moon in Cancer, which brings up that, tenderness and like, abandonment and rejection and fear, and, all these things that we bring from childhood. So if you're feeling that, sit back, kind of come into your own calmness, and just remember, like, you don't know what's going on in someone else's life. So don't assume it's all about you. What this card, this version of Understanding, says to me, and I love the description in the book, it says, this little bird sitting here doesn't realize that the bars have all been an illusion the entire time. This bird isn't actually in a cage, because if you can see, there are no bars. So all this bird has to do is go just a little bit higher, and it can fly around up here with all these other birds, and it won't be kept in this cage. It doesn't need the cage, because the cage is just an illusion that it's created for this experience it's having. As soon as it flutters its wings like it's starting to, and it lifts up a little bit, this bird is going to be flying up here in all of this magic. And so what needs to happen for this bird to move to that experience? And that's what the card talks about, the understanding that this is all illusory. I think it's illusory, that this is not actually the structure that we see down here. Just the understanding of that allows the bird its freedom. And then also the choice, the willingness, the almost effort that the bird has to make to start fluttering its own wings, to start saying, I got this, I can do this, I want to fly up here, I don't want to be sitting on this bar anymore, I want to be playing up here in all this magic with all these other birds. You see all of them? I want to fly up there. I don't want to be stuck by myself in this cage. The choice that the bird makes, you can see it's just starting to flutter its wings because they're not quite still. When the bird looks up and desires this experience and starts fluttering its wings and saying, okay, I can do it. Right? I can do it. I'm going. And it starts moving. It can have a whole different reality. Suddenly it'll be up here with all of these birds. It'll be this one looking down going, come on, birdie, like you can do it. You can fly. The whole reality will shift. And then when this bird comes up here and starts flying, it can send messages back to other ones that might be all the way down here in the cage and say, hey, the cage isn't real. It's not real. It's just this illusion that you believe to be true. So get your wings going and start flying. I talked about that in the podcast, the way that we get stuck in like a storyline that this is our reality and this is what's true. And so this is how it has to be. And what if we shift our understanding and we create a new story and we start playing up over here? Okay. Doesn't that look more fun than where this bird is? One of the things I've always envied and envy is the right word, when I am out running in the mornings and I'll see the birds flying from tree to tree or, soaring. We have hawks that fly above our pool, and I'll just look at them when I'm laying in the pool, on my float, but I can't flutter my wings and fly. All I can do is watch them fly. And I'm like, how does that feel? Like, what must that feel like to just move through the air with no weight that drags you down to gravity to sit on the floor? Like, what must that feel like? And so that's kind of not that I want to be a bird, I love being a human, but what if that's sort of the experience? This is the bird on the float kind of going, what's it feel like up here? Well, this one has the possibility to change the whole storyline. Just start fluttering your wings and go. And so this is the collective now message. So collectively, this is big, what I'm going to say. Collectively, what if this represents humanity, all of us, the humans, sitting in this illusionary cage that we have made for ourselves, believing that this is what is and this is just a dream. And so we have to stay in our cages. We have to stay in our belief structural systems. We can't break through out of them to have a different experience as a human on earth. Well, if we focus on understanding that this is an illusion, then we can create something new. So what do you want to create? Right? That's the magic of being a human. We have this mind and this body that work with the soul that can create anything. So what do you want to create? What should we as a collective humanity shift our focus to, so our understanding of, so that we step out of these cages and we play in this whole new way as humans on earth? I think it's exciting that this is the collective now card, because to me it implies humanity is going to go through an understanding in this next lunar cycle that could break us free from a lot of illusions. What is that? I don't know. We got a lot of Uranus energy right now, which is all about surprises. So who knows what's possible? Okay, the individual now, friendliness. This card is so cool. I've talked about it before, so if you're watching this every month and this is repetitive, I apologize. But for those who have not heard this yet, what this card describes is the importance of being your own tree, to stand in your own truth and knowing side by side with others, and to perhaps have a shared experience. So here the yellow tree and the red tree are kind of sharing this experience, which is perfect, of course, right? Because that would make orange, which is the second chakra, which is all about receiving in relationships. But here are these two trees having the co-creation, but only because they're fully bloomed within themselves. They're strong, their roots are firmly in the earth, they're blooming, and then they get to have this moment of it being shared together. So the card says friendliness, and it talks about being friendly, but to me it's much more about the side-by-side independence of two autonomous, creative expressions of souls in human bodies, firmly in our own, like, here I am, here you are. Let's walk together and we'll have some sort of shared moment. But I don't need you. You don't need me. We're not dragging each other down. We're not projecting or blaming or pointing. We're just leaning our trees together, shaking some of the leaves, having some magic, and then we go back to our own individual experience. So are you that in your relationships? I've worked really hard to become this, and I'm not perfect. I'm better. I'm way better than I've been before. But it's it's something we have to keep bringing our attention to, because it's really easy. It would be so easy for this tree to go, I'm tired of standing here by myself. I'm just going to lean on you, and then knock that tree down to the ground, or to not take care of the roots, or to not be willing to flower and then be jealous of the other one's flower. I mean, this story, you could play with this in so many ways. It's really easy to not own our brilliance and our unique amazingness and the wonder of being our own powerful energetic force. It's really easy to not do that, and then have all kinds of mess that we create. To stand so firmly, and trees make it look easy. If you use this example, a tree just grows, and what we see of the tree is it doesn't even do anything. It just exists and then leaves form. And think of what's happening all the time, year after year after year. If we expand the timeline of a tree's lifetime, and how much happens from the first little seed to the little sapling to the tree to the big tree, how much has happened for that existence. It's awe-inspiring. But we just see this little, oh, I've been alive, 50 years. Wow, like I've seen this whole tree. No, that tree's been here. The trees in our neighborhood, I don't know, a couple hundred years. They're like, oh, Viv, right? Here I am, this timeline that has gone through so much and watched what has been happening all around. And so if we can allow ourselves to just land, embody in this bigger picture, which is our whole lifetime here, this one, oh, and then our whole lifetime as a soul. If we bring all of that wisdom into this current reality, wouldn't we change some of the ways we would act? I believe we would. I think if we allowed ourselves, and maybe that's what this understanding is, it's allowing ourselves to see, here's the thought. What if this bird is looking at all of its past selves, future selves, stories? What if this bird is looking at itself in all these different forms? And so the understanding is, I'm not separate from that. I am all of that. And right now I'm in this current reality having this experience, but I can change it in a moment and drop into any of those, and those are all me. That's really cool. So perhaps this individual now card of friendliness is saying, expand the storyline, expand the timeline. Get out of your one little finite, I am Viv here, 50-year-old in this 2021 year. Expand it. Like, who am I? All of me, right? I'm all of that. Okay, and then highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle would be guidance. So what do you notice? I forgot to have you do this with the last card. I apologize. What do you notice when you look at this card? What jumps out the most to you? And how does it make you feel? Like, do you feel anxiety or peacefulness or hope or fear? Like, what do you feel? So what I notice are two things. First, I saw the person sitting here on the back of this angel, if that's what this is. It feels like an angel. And then I saw the face of the angel, and then the wings of the angel. And then all of this energy, consciousness, movement. Do you hear the music as I'm saying that? It's so beautiful. It's like do, 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 do. It's like all of this movement of energy around this experience that the guide is having with the human. Makes me feel good. It's like where this one won't look here to see where it's going. It's almost like it's looking back at the past. Like, oh, Oh, don't we all do that? I did that this morning. I was so frustrated with myself. I'm like, why do I keep looking backwards? I've cleared so much. I've sat with all of the stories. Like, I want to look forward. I want to see where I'm going towards instead of all this ruminating. But I think Cancer kind of brings up that, the new moon in Cancer kind of brings up that, like, oh, I got to feel it and experience it again and sit with it and, like all of these emotions. And so perhaps this card is saying, hey, you, why don't you look over here? Because I got some really cool stuff to show you. That's what happened in my meditation. It was literally like, if I'm not going to look at these relationships that are complete, what would I look at? I'm like, oh, there's some new relationships coming. There's some new experiences. And I wonder what they are. I wonder who they are. I wonder what it's going to look like. Why am I still looking back here? That there's nothing there. We've learned what we need to learn. Like, what? Look here. That's what I feel from this card. It's like encouragement, kind of like this. Like, that's a great way to do it. It's like this one is looking back here going, oh, it's so sad. You're sitting here in the cage. Oh, are you okay? What what do you need? How do I help you get out of the cage? Where this one is saying, here, I'm going to take you straight up. Are you coming? Do you want to come with me? Do you want to come play? Like, let me help you. We'll go up over here. We'll play over here. But this one's just going, no, no, no. I want to stay back here in the suffering. Why? Why? Why don't we communicate with this one that is showing up for you? Like, who is this? Who is this angel? Who is this being of energy that is so willing to carry you into this amazing experience? Who is this? You might immediately have a thought of somebody that's transitioned, or an angel or a guide that you work with, or I don't know, you'll know, like you might just immediately go, I know exactly who that is. If you don't, why don't you sit with this in meditation? Like, who is that? Who is that person, that being, that consciousness? Right? The other thing that just popped in to my awareness right as I said that is, oh, this is also Gaia. Like, this is Earth. This is I'm not going to cry, but this could make me cry. It feels like this is the consciousness, the highest potential of our planet. There's like Earth, the physical structure of Earth, and then there's the energy, the movement, the fluidity of creation that is our planet, that allows trees to grow over hundreds of years, that allows the waters to move around through all the oceans and the rivers and brings it up to the skies and down as rain. Like, there's this consciousness that is called Gaia. And I know this isn't a card for humanity. This is a card for the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, but maybe it's for the next lunar cycle for humans. What if Gaia is saying, let me show you that there's this new way that we can play? Do you want to keep looking back at the old way? The old way is kind of sad, heavy, hard, a lot of work, so much work, so much fear. What about this? What is all this? Maybe Gaia is carrying us into something different, something new. But we're so set on looking back and holding on to the old way that we're not even turning to look at this. What is this? What's happening? Where is she taking us? Let's make that our question for our guides. Why? Because I'm the one doing the card reading. And if you have different questions, then you can pull out your deck and you can ask different questions. The question I'm interested in is, where's Gaia taking us? What is this guidance that we are being invited into? If that's the highest potential for the next lunar cycle, let's figure out what that would be. So that's exciting. Okay, we are going to go to my friend Deb first. So Deb has this beautiful card deck, the Vine of the Mystic. which, I mean, if we're going to ask about Gaia and Earth, like, wouldn't the vine be the place we would go to first? Absolutely. All right, so we're going to pull, this is card number 3 for guidance. So I'm just going to pull card number 3 in each of the 3 decks. 3 decks, see, isn't that so perfect? I love when all that happens. We're going to do the 3rd card from the top in each of the 3 decks. And our question is, what is the guidance that we are being offered? What is there to know about it? And where is Gaia taking us? What is this new energy that I sense? I feel like I need to keep showing you the card. If we're being carried into something new, what is this? What does it look like, and what does it feel like, and how do we understand it? So 3rd card, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. I love Deb's card so much. Look at what the card is, you guys. Delivery. Like, are you kidding? Where are we going? Where are we going? I said, what is this? And the answer is delivery. Like, seriously? That's amazing. It's card, I need my glasses. Card number 28. Sorry. 23. So what do you see when you look at it? Delivery. What do you notice? And let's see what her book offers us. Notice 28. 28. Yeah, delivery. Okay, so here's what Deb says. Gently holding the potential of all the multifaceted parts of you that need to be expressed. You have completed so much personal work. Now it can be daunting to have the responsibility of all that possibility before you. This bounty will lead to a full heart so that you can share your love and your wisdom. That is so perfect. Gently holding the potential of all the multifaceted parts of you that need to be expressed. Isn't that amazing? What if this being, this angel, is doing exactly this for you, for us, for humanity? Like, I'll hold the potential of all that you can be, and I'll carry you into that potential. I'll help deliver you into this new expression of who you are without all of that trauma and that old story. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Deb. That's amazing. And also, new moon in Cancer. Cancer, like family, holding, birthing. That's so good. I love how energy works. Isn't it amazing? Okay, let's go back to our cards and our guides. Our question again is, since we're being delivered, to where? What is this energy? What is this light that we're moving towards? And what is Gaia? How is Gaia part of that? Like, how are humans and Gaia experiencing or co-creating this shift into something new? I've talked about this in pretty much every space I've been in this week. It just keeps coming up. It's like July. There's a new energy. It's shifting. Something different is about to happen. Like, I don't know. It feels really, really good. Yeah, it feels really good. Okay, so we're going to pull the 3rd card down. And this again is more information about guidance. And this is from our guides. So let's see what they have to say. 1, 2, 3. Queen of Pentacles. Doesn't that just like bring such peace? She's just so calm. I also feel like maybe this is another expression of Gaia. So if this is one way of seeing Gaia, Earth's energy, consciousness, What if this is another way of seeing Gaia? Like just a peaceful, at rest human with branches growing out of her head, just like the tree that she's sitting under, and just this comfortable, absolute relaxed, like patiently waiting or meditating, creating. I mean, even her hands, I don't feel like she has anything she has to do. She's just existing. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to read what this card says because I feel like it has a little extra nugget for us. Oh, did I show you? I don't know if I showed you. This is the deck that I'm using. Music is so beautiful. The Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. She has a great Instagram account if you want to follow Pixie Curio, and she's starting to share more videos. It's so much fun to watch. All right, here is what this card's wisdom says. The Light Seer, a healer, a working parent, a self-made person, material wealth and abundance, strength in family and community, a kind and nurturing heart, groundedness, being down to earth, and generosity. I feel like a lot of that is definitely Cancer sign energy. So here's the wisdom. This self-made queen reminds you to step into abundance by shifting any shadows you are holding on to around wealth and security. You are safe. Pay attention to your finances to up-level your money game and give yourself permission to rise into the upper ranks, which is totally this card, right? To give yourself permission to rise into the upper ranks. This is a positive message of creature comforts and happiness. And this earthly medicine ushers in a life well lived in the material world. Connect with nature to find your calm, healing, and rooted power, and harness the abundance that's available to you by bringing groundedness to your situation. Groundedness, that is a word to focus on as we go through this new moon in Cancer. Shower others with warm blessings from a charitable heart, as loyalty, family, and community are themes at this time. Your nurturing and down-to-earth approach will gift stability and support to those in your life. Don't overextend your energy and avoid enabling others by over-mothering them. I literally got reprimanded at dinner last night by my daughter who said, "Stop trying to take care of all of us." So I'll take my own advice here. They must learn to walk on their own. Bring your self-worth and guidance and your glorious, powerful love. The mantra is, I enjoy my deeply connected life and I lead it with an outpouring of warmth, abundance, and love. So let's go back here because our question was, if our guides are saying guidance is the highest possibility for the next lunar cycle, and they're carrying us into something new, and we're back here looking at the past, ruminating, wishing it could be different, not looking ahead to see what we're moving towards. What are we moving towards? If this is Gaia and this is humanity, where is Gaia taking us? What is she evolving into? And what we get is this. So this is very ethereal and mystical. This is like a real picture of a real person living a real moment. And I feel like the card says, just like sink into it. This peacefulness, this abundance, this nurturing, this outpouring of goodness, it's here. It's already happening. Embody it. Just rest in this feeling. Visualize, like that feels like a good word too. Visualize, be intentional over the next lunar cycle. Like hold this image inside of yourself. Like I am this. I am absolutely at peace, calm, here, delighting in the journey. One more card. One more. Why? Because we can. Because we can. And because the number 3 is just fun. So this deck, Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Love this deck. Super fun, super powerful. Yeah, so look at the moon card popped itself up. But that is not the card I'm feeling for us, because we already know, and that was also a full moon. This one just popped out too, completion, but I'm not taking these cards that are just falling out of the deck. I'm taking the third card from the top of the deck, because that's what we agreed to, remember? Actually, this is also going to be the third card because it fell out. The other two fell out, but I'm going to take the third card from the top. The question that we're asking again of our guides: if guidance is what you're offering as the highest possibility for the next lunar cycle, what guidance do you have for us? And if Gaia Earth is taking us to a new experience, a new reality, something that feels very ethereal, what wisdom do you have for us on what that might be? So we got the Queen of Pentacles and we got delivery. So let's see what this deck has to say. Third card from the top. These are big cards, 2, 3. It's a sweat lodge. Oh my God, this is actually funny. This is what they're telling us, a sweat lodge. I had a not so great experience in a sweat lodge. And so the few times I've pulled this card, I'm like, oh, no, no, no. We are not going into a sweat lodge. No, we're not. So I feel like the question was, where are we going? What are we doing? And the guides are like, you really want to go? I don't know if you do. Oh, that's just funny. So here's, I'm trying to figure out how this relates. Okay, here's how it relates. This is what feels true to me. So when I went into a sweat lodge, it was not what I expected. I had high expectations and it was not that. And I don't like to sweat and I don't like claustrophobic situations. So I put myself into a situation with high expectations and it didn't deliver. And then I tried to figure out what it all meant. So basically what it has become in my story of what I've told myself about it is this sort of comic relief. It's like, I just laugh because I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I even do that? And like, I can't change it. I can't make it anything else. It was what it was. It was sort of nuts of me to do it. And also, I have this great story now that makes me laugh every time I think about it. So I feel like, our guides are saying, really? You're looking back at that? That is what you wanted to stay for? You really? Like this? Why don't you focus on this instead? Doesn't this look more peaceful? Like she's in her body, she's under a tree, she looks very luxurious. This one is about to go into sacrifice, not sure what is gonna happen. It looks kind of dark and scary. Like, really? That's what you want to stay for? Or do you want to come here? That's what I get out of it. It's like it's like my guide saying, you don't have to go through suffering and struggle. You don't have to put yourself into these really challenging situations. And even if you do, what you're going to walk away with is going to be humor. You're going to be able to laugh at yourself and be like, you did that thing. You are so strong. You're so amazing. You did that. You survived. And now you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go back into that anymore. You can just bliss out and meditate. Just do that. Doesn't it look like more fun? Because of course it does. It's also card number 54, which adds up to a 9. And to me, 9 is always about completion. It's always about completion. So that's my interpretation of the card. What I would also add is, if we're talking about this bird having lived all of these lives and having all of these experiences, and it's all the same bird, and so it believes it's stuck in this moment, which is not true. When I think of this card in the shamanic high vibrational interpretation that it was created in for this card, a sweat lodge is a symbol of deep releasing and transformation, of sitting with your ancestors and all of the lineage of those who are holding the space in the sweat lodge and having incredible transformation, doing the work, not just for oneself, but for the community that you are sitting in. And so a sweat lodge is a highly sacred, powerful symbol of letting go of the old, which is why it's a card number 9, completing and releasing. And so when I look at this, without my lens of my story of doing something I was afraid of, that I had high expectations for, if you look at this, it could be this one has been sitting in the sweat lodge and is now going out into the light, going out into this. This was the sweat lodge experience, and now we're moving into something incredibly new and different and beautiful. So you could look at it from that perspective of we're walking out of the sweat lodge into something else. It could also be for those who don't feel like they're at a completion level yet. You're still sitting in this going, I don't know if I understand yet. I don't know if I get this illusion idea. I believe these bars are real and I'm in it and I can't see a way out of it yet. So you're still sitting here and you're not ready to look this way, which is perfect. Everyone is exactly where they're choosing to be. There's no right or wrong about it. You could be on the outside of the sweat lodge about to walk into it. And so this experience here is your sacred transformation. It's your moment, your choice of I'm about to go into this moment here and complete some karma, complete lineage stories, change the DNA of my body, look at the stories I've been in and release them. This sweat lodge could be how you get from looking to the past to turning and seeing where this energy is taking you. You turn your head from one way to another way. How do you do that? It may be this moment, this weekend. It could be the new moon in Cancer energy. It could be the month of July. It could be this whole year of 2021. It could be the next 5 years of your life. I don't know. Like, everyone is exactly where they are and you choose your own story, but you might be about to enter the sweat lodge. And so what I would encourage you is, if any of this is resonating and you're feeling like I'm about to go into something incredibly powerful and transformative, trust that this white light is sitting inside that sweat lodge. Your support, your guides, your angelic beings, all those who work with you are sitting in there waiting for you and holding you through whatever transformation is going to happen. And so, yeah, like, how do I reconcile that with my experience? I didn't go into it with a sacredness. I went into it with a, like, what are we doing? I'm not so sure about this. And so that was the experience I had. And also, I didn't need a sweat lodge. I'd already been doing what I needed to outside of the sweat lodge. I feel like what I contributed in that space was space holding for the others and facing one of my own fears. Maybe in a past life, I didn't have such a great sweat lodge experience, or I think I talked about in the podcast, the stories that we have from other lifetimes or other dimensions, they stay in our cellular memory. And so if I co-created in the past a bad sweat lodge experience, then just walking into one in this lifetime would help me complete the karma of that, no matter what kind of quality or integrity level the sweat lodge was. Just my going into it was the transformation, was the releasing of it. So for you, Maybe it's literally you're going to a sweat lodge. It's July here. Maybe you're going to lie outside and bake in the sun and sweat out the toxins that need to be released. Maybe it's just symbolic, that feels more true. Like it's symbolic that you are stepping into a moment of creation that can bring incredible healing and releasing for you. And so go into this with trust that it's sacred and that it's pure, and that you will be purified in that transformation. And as that happens, this is who carries you out. And when you come out the other side of that transformation, of that deep dive into your own journey, your own stories, you're no longer needing to look at the past. It's like you're carried up by this energy, by the sweat lodge sacredness. You're carried up, and now you get to play up here. And this, whatever this is, maybe it looks like this to you. Maybe it's this grounded and real and human. Maybe it's a cosmic, if you look on the other side of this, it's like, is that a sunrise? Is that Mars? Like what's actually this landscape? Maybe it's Sedona. I don't know. Like what are you walking into and what's on the other side? I don't know. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So let's quickly give you a nugget from their definition of the sweat lodge, just so that you don't only hang on to my definition, which is not. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. The sweat lodge, this is from Mystical Shaman article. The sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red-hot stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of the mother, you are offered second chances. The invitation. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges, and without judging it, invite it to bring you into its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. Which is what as I clear my throat, which is what I feel like people, including me, like we're terrified to walk into this kind of an experience because, who knows what's going to happen inside of there. Here's the medicine. Life is offering you a second chance. Take it, since this chance may not come your way again for a while. Mother Earth is calling you into her womb and inviting you to incubate as long as needed for a spiritual rebirth. Gift yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, and your seeds of beautiful potential until you come out the other side, free, wise, and full of creativity. I love it. The sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Gaia. And my question was, if this is humanity and this is Gaia, where is Gaia taking us? And the card they give us is Gaia is taking us into her womb. She's saying, hey, let go of the old, release the old, create something new, visualize it, see it, let it be peaceful and beautiful and abundant, just like this. They're amazing. Thank you to my guides and the cards and the creators of all of this magical play that we get to have. It's just amazing. If you are looking for guidance as you enter the sweat lodge, my meditation will be a perfect accompaniment. So maybe check that out. And I will see you next month for another tarot card reading. We'll be in August by then. Like, what? So much love.